Hi, Preschool 2. Our story today, I'm going to zoom in so you can see the cover real quick before I talk about it, okay? So I'm going to zoom in really close. You see what Curious George is sitting at the table with? Maybe you can take a guess what our story is going to be about. Back up here. Okay. Well, our story today is called Curious George Makes Pancakes, and that's what our story is about. And the author and illustrator of our book is Margaret and H.A. Ray. I said, okay, and I like this book because our new Curious George books, not from that big one, on the back, some of them have fun things to do, and I'm going to zoom it close, like there, you see? On the back of this is a pancake recipe that you can make at home, or maybe you use Bisquick or something like that to make pancakes because, you know, we've been at home and it's a good breakfast item. And in this story, George adds a special ingredient to his pancakes to make them special, and I wonder if the people like his special ingredient, so let's find out, okay? Curious George Makes Pancakes by Margaret and H.A. Ray. And they start out the same, all the books start out the same. This is George, and George was a good little monkey and always very curious. One morning, the man with the yellow hat woke George early. Time to get up, George, he said. The pancake breakfast is today. George loved the pancake breakfast. It was a fundraiser held every year to make money for the special programs at the Children's Hospital. Besides eating pancakes, there were all kinds of games to play. Even the mayor came to play and eat, but first he gave a welcome speech. Thank you for all coming, said the mayor. We appreciate your generous support. He thanked all the volunteers who were helping that day, and finally he said, please enjoy yourselves and the pancakes. When the mayor finished, the man with the yellow hat said, George, I'm going to go buy our tickets. Please wait here and don't be too curious. George waited like a good little monkey, but something smelled good. What could it be? Could it be the pancakes? George was curious. He followed the delicious smell and found a whole griddle full of pancakes. George watched as a man poured little batter circles and flipped them up in the air. It looked like fun to make pancakes. Here's a clue, you see? George wanted to help. On a table near the griddle was a basket full of blueberries. These pancakes need blueberries, George thought, and he sprinkled some on top. Remember that. Meanwhile, the man at the griddle was so busy he didn't notice the little monkey helping him, but the line grew and grew. George's pancakes were a hit. Soon everyone wanted them and the man could not keep up. Please wait, he said to someone holding an empty plate. I need to find an assistant to help me. And just like that, he was gone. George looked at the people waiting in line and then at the empty griddle. Why, could he make pancakes? He could be the assistant. George poured the batter into a nice circle. Next, he added the blueberries, and he waited just a minute to let the pancakes cook, and then he flipped them over. And at last, he added syrup. It's going to come into play there, syrup. The line for pancakes was enormous. But with 4 hands, George made quite a chef, and no one's plate was empty for long. I've been coming to this pancake breakfast for years, said the man, but I've never seen pancakes made like this before. I've never eaten this many pancakes before, said a girl. I didn't even like pancakes before, said another girl, and they all lined up for more. When the man returned with the new assistant, he was shocked to see a monkey making pancakes. This is no place for a monkey, he yelled, and he began to chase George. George hadn't meant to cause any trouble. He only wanted to help. Now he only wanted to get away. Quickly, George found a place to hide, and the man and his assistant ran right by. But where did George go? Where is he? He's right there, you see. He's hiding. When it was safe to come out, George jumped down. He was covered in syrup, like a pancake, and it was sticking to everything. George was curious. Could these napkins help him get clean? Did they help? No, there's lots of napkins that kept sticking to him, so that didn't work. No, the napkins only made it worse. What George needed was some water to wash with. Why, here was the perfect thing. George climbed up. This would be the trick for a sticky monkey. George sat on the bench and splashed himself with water, but all of a sudden, what happened? Let's see. Splash! George was in the water. What a surprise. George climbed up again and splashed back down. He'd never been in a dunk tank before, and he'd never had so much fun getting clean. Soon, everyone was having fun, and the line at the dunk tank grew even longer than the line for pancakes. Later, the mayor came by. I've heard all about your delicious pancakes, he said. You've made our fundraiser a big success, and I have a special favor to ask you. At the end of the day, George got to present the money from the fundraiser to the president of the hospital. Thanks to you, George. This has been our best year ever, she said. Will you come back and make pancakes again next year? George nodded and everyone cheered. End.